Testing. Can you guys hear me? Sometimes I gotta let the live run a little bit first. All right, guys, the live is on. So let's talk about something. All right, let's talk about it. So if you guys ever felt like you walk on eggshells trying to keep a woman interested in you, let me tell you something real. All right, a man who is grounded in his own confidence never needs to beg, never needs to chase, and he doesn't fear losing her. And instead, he carries himself like he's the prize. And deep down, she knows that too. And today, I'll be breaking down why confidence always wins. And if you're new here, my name is Mitchell. I'm a relationship coach. And in today's live, I'll be talking about you want to dare her to find better and why confidence always wins. Now, before I get into it, I do want to make it clear that you are never to say this outright to her, because everything you do and how you behave will already exhibit confidence. There's a big difference between arrogance and being confident. Confidence comes from a more genuine place, a genuine belief in yourself, and you're self-assured and you're focused on growth. Whereas arrogance, where most people, what's up, Corbin? Good to see you over here. I heard you're not doing too well. You're a little sick. Hope you're feeling good. But anyways, arrogance. Arrogance comes from a place of insecurity, inflated egos, condescending towards other people, and they have a excessive need for external validation. And so that is the big difference between having confidence and being arrogant. And a lot of people, they get that mixed up. And especially in the beginning, especially when, say, for example, you're a guy and you're trying to approach a woman, there's a lot of women out there that kind of mistaken that for with confidence for being arrogant and the other way around, right? So that was my disclaimer. Now let's get into it. Where the first slide I have to talk about is confidence creates security. So let's talk about security, all right? Women crave emotional security, especially in a relationship. So if you're a confident man, you radiate a certain type of certainty instead of anxiety and being indecisive as a guy. And you hear me talk about this on this channel a lot. You want to be decisive. You want to be the guy that knows how to lead. So if you're anxious and you're indecisive, how do you think that's going to make her feel? Now, a confident man isn't just calm, he's consistent. When she knows that you're emotionally grounded and you're emotionally centered as a guy, she can relax in a relationship. Why? Because she gets to be herself. That is what she is, more natural. Her natural essence, assuming she's a feminine woman, that she gets to lean on her feminine energy, and that allows her to relax. That's where most women want to be. So now, on the other hand, if you are inconsistent, you have a lot of inconsistencies, you overreact, and you're often constantly seeking reassurance and validation, and makes her feel like, well, she has to mother you. And no woman ever wants to have a guy that she feels like, oh, I have to be a mother, I have to be his therapist. It's like, no, you're supposed to be a guy. You're supposed to be the one that's grounded. Now, but here's the thing. When there's confidence, this tells her, look, I got this. You could kind of lean on me. And you don't necessarily have to say it. Everything you do will exhibit confidence, and she will feel safe and comfortable to lean on you. And here's another thing. If she's acting bitchy all the time, chances are she is losing attraction. And so there's a little bit of a calibration for you guys over there. All right. Now, you're the man. You're the masculine figure in her life. You're supposed to make the decisions for both of you guys. But you still want to be open. You have to be the leader she expects you to be, because when you're confident, she knows. She doesn't have to question where you stand with her. Guys that don't believe in themselves, that needs constant validation and reassurance so that they could justify how he feels about her, He constantly needs to say, for example, and that's why a lot of guys, they over pursue, they call, they text, because they're calling and texting not because he's curious about what's going on with her. He's calling and texting because he needs to know where he stands with her, and that is coming from a place of weakness. And whenever a guy does that, you are not displaying any type of confidence. It You're showing weakness, and that is very unattractive to her. So when you're confident, she knows. She doesn't have to question where you stand with her. She already knows what is going on. You don't have to blow up over small arguments. You don't panic if she pulls back, because women will always pull back. Okay, it doesn't matter how long you guys been in a relationship, she will always pull back. And you don't get jealous every time another man looks her way. It's just like, well, if you have a very attractive lady in your life, and you're going to have other guys look at her. You're gonna have other guys try to talk to her, especially if you're doing something else. Maybe you're in a supermarket and you walk somewhere else. That guy feels like, oh, here's my chance. You're not bothered by that. You're not perturbed. So, like I said, you don't blow up over small arguments. You don't panic when she pulls back, and you don't get jealous. Now, that type of consistency and that centeredness as a man is what makes her feel safe. She needs to feel your strength as a guy. What's up, Giovanni? What's going on? So, having that consistency and centeredness, that is what's attractive. Now, safety isn't boring. It's very attractive. A woman can't feel attraction for you if she does not feel secure in a relationship with you. So you got to make sure she feels secure. It means that you're emotionally grounded. You're also a type of man that's not going to stand, you're not going to tolerate disrespect. So you have to have a backbone, things like that. Okay. Confidence is the anchor that allows her to relax and allows her to trust you. Okay. And that's why confidence creates a sense of security for her. Now, number 2, confidence makes you the prize. As a confident man, this is what happens. It flips the script. She pursues you more. Most men, if they, a lot of guys, even me before, that don't know any better, they hand over the value to the woman by over pursuing. A sub to you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Most men, they hand over their value by over pursuing, texting too much, trying to prove themselves. You should be with me. Why? Because I'm this type of guy. And they're constantly begging for constant validation from her. The confident man, on the other hand, he flips the script a little bit. He knows that he already brings value. So she feels like she has to earn his attention. And this changes the dynamic from being the chaser, which most guys are, to being the leader, where she feels safe and comfortable to be like, well, that's the guy I want to follow because I trust his masculine core. Now, confidence from a guy makes you the prize. And most guys, like I said, they get it backwards. They mix pursuing with chasing. And in the beginning, the guy always pursues. The guy always pursues the woman. Not all the time. It's not like set in stone, but majority of the time. Why? Because if you see someone that's attractive, you're a single guy, you're trying to get to know people, and you see this girl and you go up to her, you're pursuing her. You're trying to see whether or not she is interested. You're gauging her level of interest by seeing how she responds to you. Is she down to go on a date with you? Things like that. So, and then afterwards, once you guys go on a date, you allow her to pursue you. That's how the dynamic's supposed to be. But like I said, a lot of guys, they get that mixed up. They think I have to say something, I have to prove something. And especially when guys are deep into a relationship where a woman pulls back, he feels like, oh, she's pulling back, I need to do something in order to get her attention and validation back again. And that's where my coach Corey Wayne, shout out to you, he talks about where that is the illusion of action, where a guy feels like he needs to do something in order to get a response from her, and that's usually counterproductive. So mixing pursuing with chasing. Okay, they over explain. A lot of guys, they do this. They over explain, then they try to prove why they are good enough to be in, like, oh, you should be with me because this is the type of guy I am. So, but if you really take a step back and you think about it, and if you truly value yourself, she does, and she doesn't see that. Well, think about it like this: if you really truly value yourself and she does not see it, you're gonna be like, well, you know what, it's all right, because there's another bus every 15 minutes. It's okay. You walk away, have a great day. Okay. And when you carry yourself with genuine self-respect for yourself, you don't need a chase. You're showing her, I already know my worth, and it's up to her if she wants to keep up with it. But like I said, you won't ever say this to her. That's not something that you say, because it would definitely come across as being arrogant. Now, here's an example. Example would be, say she flakes on you. If she flakes on you, you probably have to call her out on it, right? You have to call her out on it, and you got to set and enforce healthy boundaries, because women who have integrity and have respect for you, they will change their behaviors, especially if you say something along the lines of, look, we already made plans. I'm already on my way to the spot or the restaurant, wherever you guys are going. And sometimes that's really what it takes to get past this quote unquote shit test, or what other people may call it, or some other people call it the congruence test. So, and this is powerful because it tells her that you're the leader, and woman naturally leans in more when they sense that you are the prize. And you hear things like, I don't want to lose him. Okay. Now, if you guys are already getting value out of this, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so I can make more videos like this. All right. Now, moving on to my third point, which is confidence sets boundaries without fear. You set boundaries without fear. Now, a confident man isn't scared to say no. He's not afraid to say no or walk away. Or as my friend would say it, shout out to you, Justin, you got to be willing to take the L. You got to be willing to take the L. Now, a confident man knows that respect comes before love. Where respect goes, love follows. I'm going to say it again. Where respect goes, love follows. If she does not respect you, she is never going to love you. Plain and simple. A confident man doesn't tolerate poor behaviors. He doesn't get bothered. He values himself too much to accept less in his life. He doesn't control her, but he controls what he allows in his life. And that shows leadership. So if she's testing you, if she's ignoring you, she's being disrespectful, or she's pushing your limits, what a confident man and what a masculine man would do, because masculine energy is calm. If she does all those things that I just said, ignoring, disrespectful, pushing your limits, you remain calm. You remain calm. You communicate with her by asking what's on her mind, but coming from a place of strength, not because you're like, oh my God, she's upset again. How do I please her? You're just asking her, well, what's on your mind? Let me know, so that we could fix whatever is bothering you, so that you don't feel that way anymore. Now, you don't beg. You don't collapse. You calmly ask. Okay. Now, the truth is, women will test men not to destroy the relationship, but they do this so that they can measure you where you're at currently as the man. So they don't do this to destroy a relationship. They do this to measure the relationship, or measure your level of confidence, if you will. They want to see if your confidence is real, or is it just all talk? Because a lot of guys could say a lot of things, but how you act by your actions, that's what's going to make the biggest difference. And this is what I call the congruence test. And like I said, a lot of guys, they, you hear, they call it the shit test. They call it the congruence test, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's still a test. Okay. So if you fold and if you fold, most of the times, this is what's going to happen. Her attraction for you fades. But if you stand firm and you're calm with your masculine strength, attraction grows. Because if you're a man that tolerates what she throws at you, you're what you're gonna do is that you're going to slowly lower her level of attraction for you. And whatever you tolerate, you invite more of. So if you constantly tolerating disrespect, ignoring you, you don't know how to act, you don't know how to stand firm on your beliefs. And that's why as a man, you have to understand what you want. And if you don't know what you want, other people will start giving you things that you might not want, and then you're gonna be upset. And then, you know, that's where a lot of guys, they kind of crumble. It's because they don't know how to control their emotions or whatever she's gonna be throwing at them. All right, now lastly, I want to talk about confidence outlasts looks and it outlasts money, because confidence is timeless. All right, confidence is timeless. It is what makes men magnetic at any age. Looks, money, status, and all this could get the attention, but all that is temporary. Confidence is what creates deep lasting attraction, especially if you're looking for a relationship where she doesn't feel like she's settling in a relationship. That's what confidence does. Okay, it's deep and it's a lasting attraction. It's why some men, not all, but some men, no matter what their age is, if they act masculine, it's going to naturally attract women. And that's just how we were made. And they carry themselves with certainty, and they carry themselves with direction. And that's a very beautiful thing, especially if you already know where you're going in life as a man, and you're certain and you're gonna do it no matter what, and that's what you believe in. And then you start building on top of everything else, your mind, your body, your financials, and all that. It's going to be very attractive, because you might not have made it right away, but you have a lot of potential, and that in itself is very attractive. So like I said, confident men, they carry themselves with certainty, they carry themselves with a sense of direction no matter what age in life. Confidence is what gives women a sense of, look, I feel like I could build with this man. I feel like I could build with him. And so, you know, you guys seen it before. You've seen a man who isn't the richest guy, and you've seen a man who isn't the best looking guy, but yet like women are still drawn to him. And you kind of questioning why. It's because of his certainty, his leadership, and his direction in life. You don't have to say this to her, by the way. All right, you're never going to say this. You could communicate to her, like, you know, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy doing, and this is the direction that I'm going for, and that's it. And if she likes it, she will be on board. If she doesn't, she'll find it somewhere else. But let's put it like this. There's not a lot of guys out there that has that. And so if you are one of the few, and I'm talking about 3% out of 100 guys, you're one of the 3 guys that has this, it's going to be very, very rare to have a man like this. And she's not going to want to lose you. She's not going to want to lose you. Okay? Unless she's like, I could do better. And if she could do better, by all means, that's okay, right? You don't let that bother you. You don't let that stifle you. So, yeah, you've seen it before, right? Not the richest guy, not the most attractive looking, but he still has options. Now, women deep down, they know that this man could handle life. A confident man can handle life. And when she feels that, she's not going to really be looking for somebody else. More than likely, she's not. And this is assuming, all right? This is assuming that she is a happy, healthy, normal woman, okay? And I'm talking about, yeah, happy, healthy, normal woman, because there are other people out there, women in particular, with poor characters and low integrity. She will only behave just as long as her interest level is up. But once it dips down, she's gonna, you know, like, she might contact other people. She might have male orbiters around her. Like, there are different things, and like that's the vetting process, and that's, you know, up to you guys on how you vet. And there's other things on my channel that talks about that. So anyways, she knows that you're not just an ordinary guy. You're not a regular guy. You're not someone who just kind of coasts through life. You're the man that is in control of his life and have a deep sense of direction. Same, any advice for a white guy interested in Asian girls? Same approach. You know what's the beautiful thing about this is that no matter what country you go to, wherever you go, confidence is one of the most attractive things that you could convey to a woman. I know it's harder for white guys pursuing Asian women. So curious. I don't think so. No, it's when you come off as a confident man, it just becomes very attractive. Yeah, of course. You just have to be willing to take the L. And think about it like this. I know I talk a lot about relationships, but if you really dive deep into what I actually talk about, everything you do and say is about it's a type of philosophy. It's how you build life. And the side effect of how you have an amazing life because of where you want to go, where you want to be, the direction you're in, you're calm, you're also fun to be around. That is the side effect of that is having other people want to be around you, whether it's men or women, it doesn't matter. And that's the beauty of that. Whereas most guys, they think about, well, how can I get this girl? I mean, you could think it like that and you could still have attainable success, but it's not something that's very sustainable. So I teach men about this type of topic, but in reality, it's more holistic. It's more of a mindset, and the side effect of that is just having an abundance of everything in your life and joy. Because I think about it like this: it's like life is already kind of it's chaotic. It's crazy out there, and for me at least, I want an easygoing life, and that's the life that I want to build for myself. And whoever's in it, I want to keep that safe. And if they feel safe in it with you, they're gonna want to follow your leadership. And so that's the beauty of that. But anyways, she knows that you're not just an ordinary guy. You're not coasting through life. You're not trying to have a mediocre life. You're a man with exceptional value, and that is how you become irresistible, especially in a dating market. And if you're a guy and you just focus on dating apps, I'm not saying that dating apps are bad. I'm just saying that the pool of people that you're in are constantly being recycled in that same loop. And every now and then there might be some new people that might join in, or they just got out of a relationship, but it's like it's not something that's sustainable in my opinion. Especially if you're a guy, you have plenty of options. You could go out there and talk to some people, whatever you're interested in. So if you like music and maybe you play guitar, go join something or play something live or do something. And then that side effect of that is that they see that you have a deep, passionate relationship with the things that you love doing, and that to them is attractive. And then another way of how I see it is you get to share your gifts with other people, and your gift is also sharing your time. Your time is the most valuable thing because you're never gonna get those back. Money and everything else you could always get, but time, the time with you, that is what you can offer. And if they don't see that time and value, you don't have to give that to them. You could give them the gift of missing you. And that's, that, like I said, it's a philosophy. So now to go back to my coach Corey Wayne, he has a book called How to Be a 3% Man. And basically he talks about how you're not being 3% of a man. You basically being, out of 100 guys, there's only about 3 of you in there that learns, that understands women. And you have to understand it like this: a man that understands women are loved by women. And so if you guys did find this video content of value, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. All right, and I'm gonna summarize what we just talked about. All right, you don't chase, stop chasing Stop begging. Stop fearing that you might lose in life or lose her. And instead, become the man she doesn't want to risk losing. Instead, become the prize, in other words. And that's by becoming your most attractive self again, or being your most attractive self. And that is where you build confidence. And that's the difference that will make the difference. Like I said, when single or in a relationship, absolutely. Especially when you're single, that is the best time for you to grow. That's the best time for you to grow. When you're in a relationship, think about it like this. Anytime you're in a relationship, you're going to have less time. Why? Because the time that you have to delegate to is to spend time with whoever you're with. So you're technically going to have less time, but it doesn't mean that you stop building on yourself. You have to remain the guy that she once saw you to be. I've seen it time and time again where a lot of guys, they get into a relationship. They were in the best, before they got into a relationship, good shape. They were educating themselves. They were taking care of everything. And then they start dipping down. Then they start losing themselves. And a guy that loses himself, especially emotionally in a relationship, a woman will eventually find a way out. Meaning you might hear things like, oh, I need some time for myself. I need some time. Thank you. Appreciate it. I need some time, or I'm just not in the right place in my life right now. But if you think about it, it's like, whoa, why did you get with me before and now you're not? Now, logically, as a guy, that sounds like it makes a lot of sense. It's like, well, and that's why my coach always said, it's like, women vote with their feet. If she's with you, she's with you. If she's not for you. And so if you were once in a relationship and now you're not because of whatever excuse she is, it's usually more than 90% of the time, it's an attraction issue. It's an attraction issue. And it's probably because you've done less things right than the things you did right. And so, I have other topics about that too. If you guys are ever interested, I have plenty of live videos that you guys can kind of go back to. But, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in a comment down below. And if you want more conversations like this, I do live videos every Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And make sure, like I said, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and so that I could tell you a little bit more about confidence and how you could lead the relationship the right way. All right. Thank you.